All right, guys, back again at Tim Cream Podcast. Thanks for joining me. So today I want to talk about a little coronavirus stuff again. It's gotten a little ridiculous, the numbers they're throwing out here to all these states and countries. It's just ridiculous. I mean, honestly. So, I shot about 2 videos ago about me being sick. I was sick for about a week. Something along those lines, and it was bad. Fever, body aches, you know the jazz. And finally got over it. Towards the end of it, I was actually shooting a video for you guys, and it wasn't so bad. But through that process, I was able to get a few things done productively. And I shot another video about the Miss Vallow crazy story, ridiculous story. I mean, there were so many people involved, murder, death, mystery, children missing. And I just finally said, you know what? I'm gonna let some other entity take care of that story. It'll work itself out. Because there was just too much drama involved, too much he said, she said, and I could spend my time more fruitful on other subjects and other content. So I chose to do so. Through that video, and through that process, I went to bed the next morning, woke up to do more content for the next video, then bam, hit me again. Round 2, baby. That virus got me again. Saw it not coming. I mean, it just slammed me. I mean, Mr. Virus come knocking on the door, and he's like, "I'm here to mess you up, boy." And I just said, let's get it on. I'm a crane who can take some pain. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's dance. Boy, did he put the extra spices on that dosage, man. Round 2 was no man's game. Let me tell you, some little extra headaches, throw that in the blender, a little bit of extra migraines, a little bit more temperature with that. Forget about the 101, 102. Let's raise a little bit more. Let's put some more body aches in there, all that jazz. And as I was suffering, man, I was down hard. I just looked up at him, Mr. Virus. I said, "Is that the best you got, brother? Let's get it on." Boy, did he ever do that. It just seemed like he tripled the dosage. Oh my gosh. And guys, just take care of yourself. You don't want to go through that mess, man. So it was the second day. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, jet black in my house. I had to go to the bathroom. I was in pain, cold, hot, chills, all that stuff. My stomach not feeling good, but I had to go to the bathroom, man. Man's got to go and he's got to do what he's got to do. As I was walking through the hallway, it was like Mr. Virus knew that he was not getting me where he wanted me. He was pissed because I was acting like I could handle it. Somebody put a box in the middle of the walkway and I tripped over the booger. And when I tripped over it, I kind of caught myself in a Tebow kind of position like this, with my right leg kind of up in the air a little bit, my left leg down on the knee on the floor. And this right leg caught the impact of it. And I felt kind of a pinch, kind of a little ache. It's really hard to describe. Went to the bathroom, finished my business, come back to bed, lay down. The next morning, I woke up. You could hear your heartbeat. You could feel your heartbeat through your ankle, man. It swelled up like a football. It was ridiculous. I looked down at my leg and my ankle, man. You could take a sheet, a bed sheet, linen, and just graze my foot, and the pain would send you through the ceiling. Mr. Virus got me pissed off then. I was like, man, I could handle the virus, and that was tough. That was bad. That was real bad. But I gotta walk, man. I gotta take care of my business. I gotta go to the bathroom, the potty. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even hop. Just a little bit of vibration messed me up, man. So I did everything I could possibly. I don't like drugs. I don't take aspirin. I don't take anything. So I grabbed the ice pack, or had my better half grab the ice pack. Took some Advil, helped a little bit. I was just in a lot of pain. But I got over the virus. That's the good news. I shook that booger to get out of here. Gone. Bye-bye. But then I had the ankle to deal with. And I'm still dealing with it a little bit. Well, I say a little bit. It's probably about 20% from being 100% back to normal. But, man, that was so much pain. I soaked in Epsom salt. Man, let me tell you something. You can take some warm water where you can stick your hand down in a bucket, and it's just warm. Just warm. And put some Epsom salt, or better yet, some apple cider vinegar in that warm water, just lukewarm. Stick your foot in that thing. It's like somebody put gasoline and lit it on fire. It burned Oh my gosh. And you couldn't breathe. You couldn't even, you had to hold in the screams of horror. Horror. Man, it was so painful. A grown man cry. I could have passed out. That probably been better, but I'd have fell in the, if nobody had been around me, I'd have fell into the bucket of gasoline. It wasn't gasoline, it was Epsom salt with warm water. But it took me about 5 treatments of that with apple cider vinegar, backed up with the Epsom salt, which is Mr. Taylor's Epsom salt. It's really good stuff, man. Stinks. It don't smell good in the house, but hey, it does the trick. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering. Hours and days later, I'm about there. I got 10% left, and I'll be 100%. I'll be ready to walk again. So I just want to share that with you guys. I just want to share my misery with you guys, enlighten you about some of my pain and my suffering, make some of you guys laugh about it. You know, old Tim Crane there, he went through some pain, and it entertained us with his story. Glad to share, guys, whenever I can. Anyway, so back to the coronavirus. You know, guys, I've shot videos about this. Just go to my podcast, go to my channel, you'll see it. And there's all kinds of information out there. And by the way, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell, so that way you get the newest notification of the next video to when you guys want to see me the next time. Laugh at me, cry with me, talk to me, and communicate by posting a comment, and I will respond as soon as possible. But there are lots of doctors saying there, please stop buying those masks. I don't mean the good gas mask that will actually do some good and prevent you from getting sick, if it actually exists. Anyway, I don't want to reveal what I really want to talk about right now at this subject. But stop buying the mask. If the virus really exists, you don't want it getting in, because it will. It will not cover the whole area, and it can go in through your eyes. Those masks are crap. They're not good. It's a joke. Quit buying them. Anyway, so doing some research through the time I was sick, looking into some of the details, information about the countries involved, the viruses that have contained many countries, and all the people dying. And guys, I didn't make a lot of sense out of all this information, because you know, we're talking this, I started this information around January, beginning of January. This came out in December the 23rd, when the local doctor was trying to social media platform all this information about this virus, and it leaked out, it got out, so forth and so on. And I started shooting videos in January. So we're talking roughly 9 weeks, maybe 9.5 weeks. This thing's hit over, what? Over 50 something countries. It's killed over 3,159 people, which the SARS killed 758, which was more realistic. Once again, the deaths so far is 3,159 people. The total cases involved are 92,817 cases involved. This just seems a little far-fetched to me. And I know that I've known countries and governments that try to freak us out, man. Just freak us out and panic and go crazy and go bonkers. And you know, I was guilty of a little bit. You know, I was buying up stuff. And listen, in my own defense, it's not a bad idea to have some of these supplies that I was talking about, guys, on that last video that I shot about supplies and things to have at your house. It's just like anything in life with insurance. It's good to have. What if you have power outages or blackout or storms, flooding, hurricanes, storm, whatever. I'm defending myself on that. These are things you should still have in your house. But anyway, but I was kind of bothered about the Diamond Princess, but all these people being quarantined, 50-something people being taken off of buses and putting on planes together. Some of them were saying they were segregated, and I don't believe that. And they brought them back to America with so many cases, and yet now in America there's, you know, exponential amount of states involved, and I think it was around 15 states involved, and I believe there's there's 13 states involved in the United States, and over 105 cases in 9 weeks, guys. 9 weeks here. This doesn't even have time to have a hiccup or a burp. This is So, I mean, we're talking from Wuhan, China to America through 13 states with over 105 cases in 9 weeks. And they're saying that it's going to spread within another 2 weeks, triple that. And I have a hard problem with that. So I don't have a lot of details because there's not a lot of details out there about this. You gotta shift through all this layers of crap to get the heartbeat of this real news. And the news media is not going to really disclose this. But there was a gentleman by the name of Dr. Frank Plummer, Plummer. Google him. He was a scientist in Canada. He was a Canadian scientist, and they have a laboratory there in Canada that they would have viruses and diseases from all around the world. And they would try to find cures, vaccines, and this gentleman had discovered a cure for HIV, or was about to, and he traveled all around the world, went to Africa and other places. Now, I don't want to go into a lot of details that I don't have, because I don't have all the details. I have some stuff that I can help you Google, and you can find some of this on your own, because it would take me books upon books to have all this information. And realistically, I've got 10, 15, 20 minutes on a video. It would take hours to talk about all the paper trails he left behind. Excuse me, pardon me. And no, I'm not sick again. I'm fine. I promise you guys. Anyway, so this gentleman, this scientist, was working in the laboratory in Canada, and they had certain scientists from all around the world that work in this laboratory, and some of them were from China. These were scientists, professors, what have you, working in the laboratory in Canada, and they were working on this virus called the coronavirus. Well, it wasn't long afterwards, the scientists, the laboratory employees were corresponding with the government officials in China, and China just ripped them out of there, said, "You're coming back." These supposedly scientists stole the coronavirus and took it back to China, and they weaponized it. Now, you're going to have to Google this information to read on your own, because once again, it would take me too long to detail every paper trail step to get you there where I want you. So I'm giving you the information that you can start with, and you can end it any way you want to. So this gentleman, Mr. Plummer, was going to another country, and I believe it was Africa, or it might have been somewhere else. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I believe it was Africa. And somebody killed him, assassinated him. Boom, dead, gone. Well, now before you start digging into Mr. Plummer, there are some stories about him that he, number one, was a hardcore alcoholic. He loved his whiskey, and he would somehow, some way, pull it out of his backside to stay sober enough to do his job, and he'd drink too. But he collapsed, had to have a liver transplant, and had it done. It wasn't long after the stress was taking a toll on him, and he went back to drinking whiskey again. He lost a lot of weight. He looked really, really sick. Doctors told him, said, "I'm sorry, you're on your own now. You're not getting another liver transplant. That's it. You blew this one out of the water. You're done." So this guy discovered other doctors that were doing brain surgeries to wire these implants into his brain to control his impulse to drink. That don't sound very healthy, but he did it. It didn't stop him completely, but it controlled him from drinking a lot more, so he said. So he drank a little bit. They're saying that's not what killed him, that he was assassinated. Whatever. Anyway, moving right along. I just want to drop that in there for you guys to look it up. Look into that. So I just gave you the stats on the cases in the United States. There's 13 states in the United States, and 105 cases in the United States that are infected. The total deaths in the United States is 16 total. Okay, 16 deaths. Now, guys, let me say this. In Nashville last night, there was a few tornadoes that touched down and killed between Nashville and Cookeville, which is Putnam County, and Nashville, Tennessee, 19 people in one night. Tornadoes killed 19 people, and that's just so far. They haven't dug all the bodies out yet. That's what they're saying. There are people they can't reach. There are people that are buried. We don't know, and this is a terrible, terrible story. People that go to bed at night and they don't wake up. Man. Natural cause. Excuse me. So that was in the United States in one night, within 6 hours. Those people are gone. Versus this virus is spreading through 13 states in the United States, not to mention all the 50-something countries, and it's killing all these people, which I believe, as I said, 92,000 cases, 92,817, and 3,159 people have died. Now, once again, I've talked about this several times, guys, that the people that fall more vulnerable to this flu are the elderly that have health issues, and the younger babies. Their immune system hasn't developed yet. They're not ready for this. They're vulnerable. And so it just knocks them out. Just like a normal flu, man. Just like a typical flu. That's why I'm kind of skeptical about this. They want to cause panic. They want you guys to freak out, which, like I said, I shot a video about things you should prepare to have, and I stand by that. Forget about the word coronavirus. Just a flu. You should have some of these things just for the flu, guys. So, and I have these items, and I would do it over again and again and again. It's just wise. It's fruitful information, and I'm sharing this with you guys. You know, I enjoy communicating with you guys. You know, and I thank you guys for bringing me into your homes, into your laptops, your smartphones, and your cars, or wherever you're watching this podcast. I thank you for that. And I thank you, the ones specifically that have subscribed and liked and post comments. I really do appreciate that. And I try to comment back, or reply back to the comments and talk about any kind of issues that you might want to discuss. I welcome that. So, you know, if there's anything that I have said or that I'm conveying to you guys that you want me to elaborate more on, I'll do my very best. But once again, this information is changing so fast. So I started stepping back a little bit and started doing some research about, you know, how can this stuff, especially when I read about Mr. Plummer, Dr. Plummer, that threw a flag out there. And then the supposedly espionage or whatever, the Chinese employees working in the Canadian laboratory on level 4 research, and they just vanish and take this virus over to China, and all of a sudden these people start dying. It just seemed a little weird. Because honestly, the flu itself can do all this information. I mean, really and truly it can. But this is happening through the governments. You know, them talking about, and oh, by the way, the 6 deaths was at a life care center in Washington. Guys, these are all elderly people, man. These are people that are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. These people don't have a chance against even probably a common cold, man. Their immune system, their bodies can't deal with that. The fevers up and down, their bodies can't deal with that. The body aches and pains, the strain and the pull and the anxiety on their hearts and their lungs and their liver, their kidney, they're not going to handle that. But I've also wondered too, though, you know, guys, if you do some reading, if you've done some reading, if you've heard of the news about, you know, how the American economy is, you know, people on disability, Social Security, all these elderly people that are, you know, making X amount of dollars. And, you know, I've always wondered, you know, what would happen if these people weren't there no more? All the millions, if not billions of dollars, billions upon billions of dollars from these people not being there no more, where would that money go to? Would it go to their kids or grandkids? Don't think so. No. Where does it go? Back into the pockets of who? Or back into the vault? Where? You get where I'm going with this, right? Yeah. So that's a vulnerable group of people right there. They're very vulnerable. They can't handle that kind of stress on their bodies. Excuse me. So let me get some water. Sorry, excuse me. So these people are in these environments and you have staff, employees, and you have management, so forth and so on, and this supposed virus cannot be detected to up to 18 to 20 days, what have you, and you're contagious from the very first day you get it, and all these people walking around not knowing they have it, and it spreads, supposedly. I've been watching on the news, guys, and if you watch too, you're probably watching this. I've seen some of these ambulance, and listen, my hat goes off to all these emergency staff employees. They work so hard. But I see these people carrying out these stretchers, what have you, with people walking around with sheets, with masks, which does you no bit of good at all whatsoever. But they're bouncing around with these sheets in front of this stretcher as these EMTs are pulling this stretcher. You can't see nothing on the stretcher. You can't see a body. You can't see a person. You can't see nothing. But you get these people bouncing around with these sheets like they're, put your hands up, ooh, ooh. For what? What's behind the sheets, guys? What's going on? Now, I have worked really hard to find some videos and some captions and pictures of some people being on the hospital beds and on these stretchers. But then again, some of these photographs I saw, and I cross-referenced some of these videos and pictures to some of these people that said, hey buddy, did you know I saw you on the news? You are dying from the coronavirus. What? No, I'm not. I'm fine, man. I just had a sorority frat house party last night with my buddies, and I'm doing just fine. What are you talking about? Yeah, man, I swear I saw you online, man, with this little mask on. You were dying. I assure you, my friend, I'm doing perfectly fine. I've seen this happening. And I know in the past, you see on the news all the time, these stage actors, these real tragic incidents that are happening. They hire these people to come in, and they're stage actors, and they get paid extra, and they act like, oh, we're in trouble, we're in trouble. What? I just saw you last week, man. You were having a party somewhere. Oh, that wasn't me. Really? I saw that little tattoo, that TH whatever on your... Oh, I had it removed. Really? You see where I'm going with this? So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I see the panic. I see the fear. And quite honestly, I have a lot of emotions, a lot of reserved emotions on this topic. I really do, guys. I really don't know. All jokes aside, I don't, you know, I'm reading, and some things I don't even really want to talk about, or I'm not so sure to talk about, because I don't know how to really explore that. Because some of this information just goes to a dead end. It doesn't go no further. I'm like, how am I going to talk about that? Because I don't really have nothing further than where it stops. And I just know that our president at one point in time came out and said the Democrats want to use this like the Russian probe, or they just want to use this fear-mongering to blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden Trump comes out and says, oh guys, we're going to use $1 billion or whatever. We're going to set up all this and that and FEMA camps and this. And I'm like, whoa, how did you go from this to that? It's like, I don't know. You know, I'm a little confused about that. But I'm going to stand by what I said. I said, eat right, take care of yourself, exercise. And, you know, I've been guilty of not doing that in the past few years of my life because I'm self-employed. I work really hard. I have a lot of stress. And I definitely want to take better care of myself, and which is what I'm doing now, especially after going through this flu that I had. Round 2, baby. Make no mistake about it. That was rough. I've lost a lot of weight from that too, man. I don't recommend that diet to nobody. Let me tell you something. You might wake up and thinking you've lost 20, 30 pounds, whatever, but are you really? The strain on your heart, your lungs, your mind, your liver, your kidneys, you know, all that medication you're taking, all the aspirin, whatever you're taking in your body just to try to get through that, it takes a toll on you. So I don't recommend that diet. But I'm going to start dieting right, eating right, and I'm getting back in the gym. Well, I may not go to the gym because I don't want to have to worry about, you know, somebody sweating and dripping. You know, once again, it's more flu for me. I'm trying to get away from that 19, covert 19 or coronavirus 19, whatever. I'm just trying to get into the simple mindset of just being a flu. I don't want to get a flu, and I've already had it twice. You know, I paid my debt. I paid my due. I'm not getting it again. You know, I'm going to take care of myself, and try to keep 3 feet between you and the person that's achoo, sneezing and spitting and all that jazz. Stay away from that person. I don't care if you're climbing into a taxi or Uber or a Lyft, whatever, and that driver's doing all that jazz. Say, thanks, man, but no thanks. I'll get the next guy. Don't climb in a car with that person. Don't climb in a train. Don't climb in a truck. Don't go to somebody's house, your grandma, your grandpa, or your cousin or your niece, whatever, whoever. Don't go in there when somebody's sneezing and coughing and screaming. Get out. And if you do have it and you got a cough and sneeze, do it in your, right there, in the crack of your arm, man. Not an open, not in your hand. Do it right there. And always wash your hands with warm water for about 20 seconds, if not 30 seconds. In your fingernails, in your crevices and all that jazz. Sanitize, clean it really good. And drink lots of water. Lots of water, man. I don't care, 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons a day. Drink lots of water. Flush that body out, man. Keep that body clear. And be mindful of all the sugars, man. All the sugars, all the caffeines, you know, all that stuff. And, you know, and with prayer, God on your side, you can't lose. Always keep the Holy Spirit on your side, guys. He's there for you. He loves you. Don't forget that. And once again, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It's free, it costs nothing, and it makes me more motivated to get out here and shoot more videos for you guys. Now, once again, I've been sick these past few days. I couldn't shoot I mean, you wouldn't have guys like what you saw in the first place. I had hair coming out everywhere, growing everywhere. I looked rough. But now I'm looking better now. So, next time, guys, until then, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you.